All right. Okay, hi guys. Sorry about that confusion. I'm not sure what happened. I think we meant to use a different link, but hopefully people will still be able to figure out their way here, and hopefully you guys just watched that Surge with Carl, especially if you weren't at Summit. He didn't go over all of the announcements at Summit, but and things that came out, and we can kind of cover those here. But also they'll be in your coach online office and breaking news. But tonight we wanted to talk about kind of next steps and what's coming up. So we'll share with you some of our biggest takeaways for Summit, and then also what's coming up next. So there's going to be a huge business builder, no matter whether you were at Summit or not, and that is the Team Cup. And I know the Team Cup is kind of a super vague name and not everybody knows what that is. So I will just explain it really quick and then we're going to share with you kind of our strategy on how we capitalize on the Team Cup. So you can start to get a plan in place. So basically, you just team up with yourself and 4 other people. So it's teams of 5, and it's coaches, not customers. And there can be up to 2 diamonds on the team this time, but only 1 star diamond of a lifetime star diamond. So it'll be 5 of you, and it's no more work than what you're doing now. All it is that you guys work together to kind of plan out your month, and you kind of become like a little success pod. So you're talking, all the time, every day, sharing what's working for you, who you're talking to, what kind of groups you're running. Maybe you want to run a challenge group or 2 together. Maybe you want to start with a free group, whatever you guys want to do. I think the most important thing is communication. And then you accumulate your points. So everybody that hits Success Club 5, you'll accumulate your points. And then if you hit Success Club 5, you earn a blanket. And then if everybody hits Success Club 5 on your team, you earn a sweatshirt. And then there's the top 10 prize, which is you get I think his and hers Beachbody branded bike. And then the number 1, the grand prize, is a trip to all-inclusive to Santa Monica to tour the headquarters and work out live. And if you're sitting there and, as I said, the top team gets this, and you thought in your head, well, that's not going to be me, that is exactly, it won't be you if that's your thought. And so I want to explain to you, and if you guys have more questions, definitely ask them. But I want to explain to you why the Team Cup can be such a game changer, and why you have to face your limiting beliefs. So when I was very new to coaching, it was my 3rd month coaching. I had no idea really what I was doing. But for some reason, I was reached out to by people that I kept seeing their name on leaderboards, and they were killing it. And those people were Lori Stewart, Kim Lima, Rhonda Race, and a guy named John Harrell, which coincidentally, he was the diamond of the group and now no longer coaches, and the rest of us are, elite coaches. But they asked me to be in this group, and it was my 3rd month as a coach. I had hit Success Club 7 in January, or the 1st month, and 10 the 2nd month. And we got in this group, and they set the goal saying we have to hit 35 points each. If you can imagine, as a coach who'd been in this business for 3 months, I was freaking out. I was in a group with leaders, and I didn't want to let them down. I thought 35 points sounded insane, like it was not going to be possible for me. And instead of letting those voices act like they were true, I just decided to prove myself wrong. And I went for it that month. We communicated every single day. And I think I ran 2 groups. I ran a clean eating group that was just with Shakeology. I ran a challenge group, and I ended that month at 42 or 45 Success Club points. We ended up being a top 10 team. Every single one of us advanced our business. Lori went diamond. I think Lori, Rhonda, and Kim all went diamond that month. And I didn't think I could do it. But because I did that, it was a total game changer in my business, because then I proved myself wrong. I realized, if I want to hustle, I can do this. And that's why the cup is so important. So if you get on these teams, don't think that you guys have no chance at being a top 10 or being even the top team. You have to go into it setting your sights high. And so that is going to be my tip for the Team Cup. I would not shoot for Success Club 5 just because that's what you have to get. If you shoot for 5, there's, what is it, the 10X rule, where he's like, if you often fall short of your goal. So if you shoot for 5 and you fall short, then you don't get any of the prizes. So why don't you shoot for 35 points? And then if you fall short, you're still killing it, right? So shoot for, and anyone that's on my team, I make it like mandatory. Like you have to hit 35 points because it's a belief in your mind. It is not at all about like actually helping people. It's in your head. If anybody else out there has hit 35 points in a month, which, spoiler alert, like probably hundreds of coaches have done that, then you can do it too. So that is my tip, is don't set your sight on 5 for Team Cup. Like lean on your team, become a success pod, and set your sights high and your goals high so that you can surprise yourself and prove yourself wrong thinking there's no way I could do that, because you totally can. Yes, Lori. Okay, now I want to have Lori share her tip and your thoughts on that group.
Okay. So I remember Team Cup differently. So I remember that so it was like I don't remember what month it was, but I remember I had only been coaching just a few months too. And I'd been following along. I was really quiet, and I was in Emerald, and I was hitting Success Club 10. And I was hitting 10 every month because back then, that was the only way I was going to go on that it was a cruise that year. And so I was like, okay, well, no matter what, I have to hit 10 because that's how I'm getting my Success Club trip and how I'm getting the spending cash when I go. And so to me, that was just like a no matter what. So then when I got asked to be on someone's Team Cup, first of all, I was like, oh my gosh, like I wanted to cry, because first of all, that was like someone even noticed like that I was doing a good job and wanted me. So you guys never, ever hesitate to reach out, because I don't think my business would have been the same had they not asked me. So if you see someone that's like hustling and pushing and growing, and even if they're not posting a lot in the group, they might be one of those introverted, quiet, following people that are just kind of doing what they're supposed to be doing and showing up. So reach out and create groups that you see of people who are on those leaderboards, who are showing up, who are killing it. Because although they may not be asking, they probably are like too afraid to just reach out, and you could be the person that changes their business. So I remember Kim messaged me. It was Kim and John Harrell. I knew who they were, and I knew who Rhonda was, because they were all growing and building. And I knew Ashley was a new coach killing it. And then when they asked me, I was just like, oh my God. But those are the people that we partnered up with. And so back then we all were just like, okay, we're going to go in and we're going to do this. And you guys, I went that month from being an Emerald coach, and I jumped to 1-star qualifying in the exact same month. And it doesn't have, you could never have hit, Success Club your entire business, but you have to make the decision when you go into this to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and there's not going to be any options. And you guys, this is hard work, and you're going to hustle, but this is where the momentum in your business can absolutely blow up and change. So with that in mind, like my thing is I love freebies. So I was like, I want to get all, I told my team already, I'm like, y'all, we better get these hoodies at least, so this is just what you're going to have to go in and hit. But you have to set your goals high, and you're going to have to come out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to do things that are scary. And so it's kind of goes along with what was at the summit when they talked about failing forward, getting that fear out of the way. And when you become excited, thinking about all the no's that you're about to get, those are also seeds that are going to be planted to build your business for the rest of the time. So communicate and talk to and partner up with this Team Cup that you have. And even if there's going to be, it's going to happen. There's going to be someone that has a team where somebody's not working, but just love and support them and encourage them and still show up. And you know what? If they're not doing it, then you can pick up the slack. But don't complain. You focus on you, and you guys build this the best that you can. So like Ashley mentioned, you can do this with some free groups. Like with that 2-week trial, that is to me like the most unbelievably amazing thing that we have to offer, is that you can say, hey guys, jump in with this, Shakeology week. Like I can get you set up with the sampler package. They can try it for free. My daughter, who is a college student, has 45 people in her very first clean eating group, all because she said, hey, y'all want to try this workout that I've been doing for the last few months and do it for free? Let me show you how to sign up. I mean, like 45 out of nowhere. And they're all down like multiple pounds within the first few days. They're trying this workout that's amazing. And now they all want to join with shakes and do this more. And they're loving it. So you guys have to just start to think, okay, what have I not done? What hasn't worked? And that is where you're going to start to do something else. And so you communicate, you bounce off ideas, and you get excited. Okay, and I just want to touch on this because we kind of, Ashley and Tanya and I were all texting back and forth during the surge. And when we were listening to them talking about what they do for their team cups for their team, I felt like I sucked. I'm like, oh my God, like we suck. But here's what I want you guys to say. I had to tell myself, Lori, get back in your lane, okay? Because although we do things differently than whatever that team is, we still kill it. We still have always stayed in the top. So you guys, just if you heard that and you were thinking something to yourself like I was, get out of your head and just know that you're about to be able to do this and blow the water out of it as well. So you have to go into the mindset of, you know, you're going to be able to get this done. And like she said, put your goals high, because one thing that I've always learned is that no matter how high your goals are, if they're not scary, you're not going to work as hard to get them. If you only set for 10, you're going to work at a 10 level. If you set for 30, you're going to wake up saying, okay, I've got to work twice as hard because I still need, you know, to help another 15, 20 more people. So that's just my biggest thing, is just goal setting high. Know that you're going to do it. Have the positivity, and just think outside the box and just be willing to fail over and over and over again. You guys, it's not that any of us are any better. We're just willing to take that step and constantly fail forward a lot, like a lot. So.
Thank you, ladies. Okay, I'm not cutting out, am I? My internet is wacky. Thumbs up, Ashley, if I'm good, because I can see you. Okay, good. All right. So now you've heard Ashley and Lori talk about the mindset that we need to set for Team Cup. But honestly, Team Cup month is pretty much the same thing we should be doing every single month. So don't think of this as like, oh my God. I mean, this is really what we should be doing every month. But what's really cool is that Beachbody has dangled some really pretty carrots, right? Like, I want the bike. I want, so it really does, add some extra incentives. So now that we've got the mindset and we all know the magic number is 35, that here are some things that I want to go over, and some specific, if you want to, start writing down, get a pen and paper. If you don't already have one, I have some specific things that may help. And I can't even remember how many Team Cups I've done, but I think the closest we got was second place, which was huge. We didn't finish in the top 10 by the end, because let me tell you guys something. In order to finish in the top 10, every single person in your group or in your team must max out. So that's 35 points. I mean, it's just the competition's so tight. So here are how you earn Team Cup points. I know you could read this, but let's just talk about it now. For every Success Club point you earn, you get a Team Cup point. And I know we say point, now it's 2 points. I mean, I don't know. At some point, we're going to have to redo everything and say SC6, right? Although somewhere I had a point taken away somewhere. Anyway, so for every Success Club point you hit, you earn a Team Cup point. For every rank advancement, so if your personally sponsored coach rank advances, that's an extra point. If you rank advance, that's an extra point. Maybe that's for the 1 point, unless that's changed. But I don't think that has changed. So there are more than one ways to receive Team Cup points. So when you think, oh my gosh, how am I going to get to 35? You definitely can get to 35. Okay, so it changed. Okay, so now I think it's just Success Club points now, right? It's all Success Club points. Okay, that's fine. But even still, 35, let's just say 36. So it's an even number, right? So it's 18 people. Let's just make it 20 people. Aim to help 20 people with Shakeology, better yet, a challenge pack. And now I know that we have so many people that are already on Beachbody On Demand, so definitely push the Shakeology and Portion Fix challenge pack. And you know what really helps is by letting them know how much value there is in that, because it's the same exact price as Shakeology. Same exact price, but I've been calling it like you get the total solution package. You get everything now. So why do that? Get the challenge pack. I know it's still 2 points, but at least you're giving your customer and challenger much more value, and they feel like they're getting so much more than just their Shakeology. So just some things to pick up. Make sure that you have somewhere to plug your new challengers into. So if you guys together as a team want to run a challenge group together, that often works really great, so that you can, go from doing this group together now doing Team Cup together now into a challenge group. A great, I think, day to put a start date onto that is August 14th, and here's why. Nationwide, well, yeah, I guess nationwide, but network-wide, Shift Shop Shift Shop Test Group Challenge Group starts on Monday the 24th. The second round of that would be the 14th. So there's another way to get people plugged in to another round of Shift Shop. Or it could be their first time. So you can mix up, you can add people to your existing group or just start a new group. Whatever it is, I think August 14th also gives you 2 weeks. Guess what? To push for all of your points in the beginning of the month. I know you've heard all of us say it before. We act like the first 2 weeks or the first 10 days, or they're only 10 days in the month. We operate like that. And so that's why you're seeing us push in the very beginning, because that's just how we operate. We want to make sure we lock everything in so that we can continue focusing on other things. So that gives you 2 weeks to push, but guess what? You still have the whole month at the end of the day, right? But if you don't want to do the 14th, just make sure you pick a day, get together with your team to strategize what you guys want to do.
And can I interrupt you really quick, Tanya? And if you guys are doing the Shift Shop test group, the months, and I'm sure Lori and Tanya, it's the same, the months that I have the highest Success Club points are the months that I start a program and I share it every single day. And if you're starting June 24 or July 24th, by the middle of August, you've got one round under your belt. So you have great results. You've taken them on the journey, and that gives you like 2 more weeks to get a bunch more people enrolled for your next group because they've already seen what you've done with this program.
Yes, exactly. So don't forget, again, this is what we should be doing every single month and every single day anyway, is sharing our results. But sometimes, we're all still kind of recovering from this whole summit hype. And so I just wanted to make sure we all go back into our calendars, make a plan. And, because Team Cup came up pretty fast and we have all these new announcements and we have so many new products. We have the Daily Sunshine, which comes on HD also. So there's so many different ways to capitalize and leverage the Team Cup for your business. Another thing, guys, going back to the mindset thing, I remember I always do, let's talk about strategy also too. I always pick brand new personally sponsored coaches to do a Team Cup with. That's just where I'm at. The leaders tend to really do that so that it's a chance for us to train our newer coaches. I wish we could pick 20, but we can't, so we just have to pick 4. But if you have a bunch of different, if you don't have a team yet, that's totally fine. But if you do have a team, because I've seen this happen before, even on my own team, where my personally sponsored coaches have a downline, yet they don't form a team with their downline. It makes sense to train your downline, right? Like it makes sense to join with them if you have that mindset of, okay, here's a great way to show them exactly how I invite, exactly how to post on social media, and how to run a challenge group. So there's a great opportunity if you are a coach that has, 4 new coaches on your team. This is a great way. If you're just starting out with a team, this is a great way to uplift them. With the mindset thing, I had a new coach. I don't know if she's on here somewhere. There's 8 pages. Yay! We have so many people on. Leslie Reese. She was brand new. She was, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but my goal is 50. She hit 58 points, and it was her it was the very beginning of her coaching, and she was like, I don't know. I just kept talking to people. I just kept inviting. And so really there's no magic to this other than keep inviting. So sharing your results every single day. And like Ashley said, by August 13th, you will have 1 month of Shift Shop already done, and you can share that. And that still gives you 2 more weeks to get people plugged into your next group. So it does take some planning, which you should be doing anyway, to figure out how you're going to do it. If you want to, I know nobody wants to do another Facebook group, so do maybe a messenger thread or a way that you guys can communicate with your team. Maybe have a daily check-in every day with reporting your points. I know if I see somebody posting their points, it makes me go, okay, I need to participate too. So team captains, make sure that you are posting every day and getting everybody engaged, and make people check in with where they've at, how many invites they've had. Something to keep everybody going. So, and exactly like Lori said, it's just talking to people. It doesn't have to be about Beachbody. And again, you've got free trials. There's really no way people can say, I think, no at this point. You can offer them a free group, especially with the Clean Week the clean week coming up. There's really something for everybody. So that is Team Cup. We have all of August. This is when you will see some pretty high numbers from the network. So it's a giant push. And I'm actually, I don't know about you guys, but the last Cup, I felt like I wasn't as energized, but I'm super excited for this one. Maybe it's just because of Summit and all of these things. So now is a really good time, you guys. So many people were watching your social media, and I'm sure a lot of you have been getting messages like, wow, that looks so exciting. I think maybe I should, look into this. Now is the perfect time to talk to all of these people. The hype is up. There's so many things out there about Beachbody that it's just a really exciting time for us, and it really will help us. So I think that's all I've got. Oh, one last thing. Sorry. One last thing too, at least for Team Fit Tabulous machines, we moved our sneak peek open house to the 26th of July. So we moved it towards the end of the month. So be prepared to invite to that as well. And guess what? You can be signing new coaches out of that, but hold them off till August 1st. So there's another way that you can strategize and plan. So that's where our sneak peek is. It is July 26th, 27th, and 28th. And then August is right around the corner. So we are, inviting to that. And then right away, you can start adding coaches and getting those Success Club points in immediately as minute August 1st hits. So right now, I want everybody to write down what their goal is for how many Team Cup points they're going to get. It should say 35. It just should say 35, but maybe aim higher. Be Leslie and say 50, right? The 10-time rule. So that would make it 50, right? If we're going for 5, 50. It's really 6, so 60, whatever. So do that, and then reverse back. How many do you want to get by the first week? How many? And it just, for me, like if I'm a planner, like I have to plan it out. So if I know that I want to hit 10 points by the 4th or by the 6th of August, then I have something to work towards. So instead of just being like, oh, I'm going to get 35 points somehow through the month. If you set a plan, maybe that helps you more. At least for me, I like to check off boxes. So your husband said 50. Well, he's a good husband. So I think that's it about Team Cup. Unless anybody has any questions, you can type it in the chat. Make sure you check the FAQ because clearly things have changed. Last but not least, for all diamond and above coaches, the new elite points that we get from the challenge packs, right? Let me make sure I get this right. So for every challenge pack, the maximum is 10 elite points. If you don't know what this means yet, ask your coach. But you can get up to 10 elite points that you can put in any category if you sell a challenge pack. So for every challenge pack sold, right? Is that how it goes, Ashley?
But I think you have to have a minimum of 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Have a minimum of 5. And for 10 elite points is huge. So that's also another incentive for Team Cup. So does anybody have a question? Oh, yeah. Okay, so good, Michelle. So what happens is once everybody, can you find it, Ashley?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So once everybody maxes out, then they go, all the points matter because then it becomes like a tiebreaker. So don't just stop at 35, right? Because like I said, once you get to the top 10, pretty much everybody has 35 points. And you can do it. You can definitely do it. You heard the girls say in their very first Team Cup, they just started and they got all these points because I don't know if it was just, we just pushed ourselves more. So they do count at the end. And so there has to be tiebreakers. So, yay, Anne. I know you're excited. That's awesome.
And I see lots of people saying they need teams. I think we'll each I was planning to post something in my group to say who's looking for a cup so we can pair you guys up for those.
I just did a poll. I think Danielle did it in her personally sponsored page, and I thought it was really great, and I did it in my page. I put a poll up that says, I'm already on a team. I need a team. What's a team? And then that way you guys can all look there and team up. So make sure you check that as well. Okay, cool. And Lori has a thread in Fantabulous as well. So you will not go teamless. You will not. There is somebody, and it's so great to do this as a team. Kind of gets you out of your shell, especially if you're shy, you're new, or perhaps you've been on the fence for a while about coaching, but you've been a coach for a while. So now it's a great time to get motivated and inspired to do this.
I want to jump in real quick.
Yeah.
I know we talked about a lot of you. I've heard some of you that have partnered up with people outside of your team, and which that's totally okay to do. But we just want to kind of explain to you why the benefit is with doing it with someone that's within your main team and your organization. Because as you know, I know a lot of you still get confused on the whole team cycle bonus and how it works. And just to reiterate, you guys need to understand that as soon as possible, because that is where the income comes from your business. But where the Team Beachbody comes from is that when you work with people that are within your organization, within your downline, within your genealogy specifically, and you all are pushing, your income will drive up exponentially because you're working with people that's within the same team. So your volume is growing, so then your income will be growing. But if you're partnering up with people outside your team, then whatever the push that they do, I mean, it still benefits you. So I'm not saying don't do this, but I want you to kind of understand how it actually just benefits you beyond that. But it also builds your volume, which builds your income, which builds, just longevity. And so even if you aren't receiving a lot of cycles, whether you're capping out, all that saves and goes into this little bank account, savings account for you on each leg, so that even if you don't use it now, it's still going to be there for you in the future. So I do highly suggest stay within your team, but it's not a big deal if you guys do go without outside of that. But we just kind of like to encourage, and then plus that just builds community within your specific organization. So just wanted to add that in there.
For sure. Good point. Good point. Are we cool about Team Cup? Everybody's excited? Yay. Okay, great. So I think we've got all the questions. And there is an FAQ, so just scroll down, click it, hit Team Cup, or go to the Team Beachbody Cup website. So now we're going to shift gears. I know some of us were at Summit, not everybody was, but we wanted to share a couple of stories of, I'll introduce Janelle first. She is a coach on Team Machine who attended, actually I have a funny story about when she signed up. She signed up last year during Summit. I think like a day before I left for Summit. I messaged her and I said, just so you know, I am away at Summit. I will be slow to respond just in case, and I'm sitting in general session in the dark. My phone starts going off like crazy. I'm like, somebody is really trying to reach me. And it was Janelle, and she had drawn out, she was like a brand new coach, maybe a couple days. She had drawn out the full genealogy on how many coaches she was getting ready to sign up. And I was like, oh, this is a text I need to answer in the middle of general session, because she's trying to place coaches and she's trying to do this thing, and became a diamond within 4 weeks. It was nuts. I was like, who is this girl? She's amazing. So I took the text in the middle of general session because that was important. And so her very first Summit, which is really cool, was this last one last week. And so I wanted her to share her experience as her first time attending Summit and share some of her takeaways. So, Janelle, take it away.
Okay. Hey, guys. So, can you hear me? Good? Okay. So, Summit was amazing. It was just surreal to be in the room. Like Tanya said, when I kind of cyber stalked everybody last year while they were away. So it was neat to be on the other side. But from the very beginning, I knew that I needed to get there because I could tell the energy just looking at it on Facebook, but being there, it's completely different. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can watch the recaps and I can do that, but it's not the same. The electricity in the room is just something that you can't explain. Like, you have to be there. And everybody that's been there year after year, people that have been there for 9 years, every year, they're like, oh, it's the best one ever. And it is, because at the time that you're there, you're taking different things away. So my biggest takeaway really was giving me hope, because you look at all the people there and you see that everybody's story is different. And, I'm coming from corporate America, and I'm like, corporate America, it's like, if you're not a white male in your 60s, you're not really going to be the CEO of the company. But you can look at on the stage and you see people with tattoos. You see the blonde haired, blue eyed girl. You see, the girl that came from, whatever, a drunk who is now a 7-figure earner. It's just like, there's so much hope. And the main thing that every single person that got up there, it was really the secret is hard work. That is the only thing that I can take away from this, is that they show up every day. Every person, Tanya and Lori and Danielle, when they're all going through these things over the just 1 year that I've been here, they all showed up. And I'm like, well, how dare I in my, I'm just so tired, not show up for myself and for my team when people are going through life-changing situations and continue, they might not show up in the way that they normally would, but they still show up. And, it's mastering the mundane, showing up to, I have not missed a Super Saturday since I started. I won't ever miss one, and I won't miss Summit, because these are the events that reignite your business and your, just sitting down. Lauren Wandell, we were in the airport, and I talked to her for I was at the airport 7 hours early on the way back, but I talked to her, and, normally it just gets you out of your comfort zone. I picked her brain and talked to her, and it's, as easy as it is to put your head down and look at your phone, to sit there and talk to somebody who can relate to you it does something for your mindset. And if you go in with an open heart and an open mind, you can do this too. And that's what I took away from it, is that if you sit down, put your head down, and really work the business, and do 80% of your time should be spent on inviting. And when I started the business, the way that I grew that fast is because I had a vision, number one, and I invited. And then when I started to fall off after that, it's because I wasn't inviting. I was sharing and I was showing up in certain ways, but I was like, oh, they see me. No, they don't, because I've been doing Beachbody programs for 7-8 years, and I never knew about the coaching opportunity. So as much as you feel like people are seeing you, they're not. They're not seeing you. So you have to show up every day, and you have to talk to people outside of your comfort zone. Just talk to people, because every person that has joined me since I started, I've talked to them at least 5 times before they joined me. And it started off that I, just said hi. I reconnected with people. I liked stuff on their Facebook. And then they came, and of course, because when somebody likes your stuff, you're like, what is she doing? And you go in there and you scroll and you're nosy, because we're all like that. And so they come back and they're like, hey, I've been watching you. I want to, whatever. And sometimes it happens that way. Or sometimes I'm like, okay, let me just ask her, hey, have you thought about doing this or joining, I've got a challenge group starting. I've got a fitness accountability group starting. You can do it from home, whatever. So the main thing that I took away is that you do not need to miss Summit. If you are on this call right now or listening to this call later, never miss Summit, never miss a live event, and talk to people, because you never know who, from brand new coaches to elite coaches, everybody's willing to help. There's no secret. There is no secret. And don't get distracted by shiny objects. I'm a shiny object girl. I'm like, oh my God, I need that system. Oh my God, I need a website. Oh my God, I need, but when I take a step back and take a deep breath, and I talk and listen to the top coaches in this business, every single person, they show up and they invite. That is it. So that's my takeaway.
Well, I think the call's done now. No. And I just wanted to share, thank you so much, Janelle, for sharing your experience. It was exciting for me to hear your story, because like we said, you signed up last year during Summit, and I shared earlier that she hit Diamond in 4 weeks, but it wasn't, in and out of rank. And, she even said, what her struggles were not inviting. And so you touched on something which was one of my biggest takeaways, which I always know, but I forget to mention it to the team, is that 80% of what we should be doing is inviting. But don't go into this management mode. The minute you start adding coaches and all of a sudden you think you need to do all these different things, you have to continue inviting. That is the number one thing. So my biggest takeaway was, and I know Lori and I, we talk about this and we keep trying to remind each other, is the very first thing we do in the morning is not go into management mode and go into our team pages and do all that stuff. Invite, talk to the people that are messaging us that want to get in our team or get in our challenge groups. Spend the bulk of your time inviting, then going into your team pages. And, if you're doing Challenge Tracker app, you can schedule your posts. So you have that ready to go if you're like me, because I like hyperventilate. If I know a post hasn't gone up in the morning, ask Lori. She's like, relax, I'm going to put one up. So, but you can definitely schedule them. So just know that 80% of our time in our business should be dedicated to inviting. We need to continue to grow, to grow, to grow, to grow. So that's my biggest takeaway. Anything else, ladies?
From Summit, takeaways from Summit?
Yeah, did anybody else want to share anything? A new coach, first time experience
Or
there?
time or whatever, anytime. Anything you took away.
Or you can just type it on the side and we can touch on it. But until that, but I also love what Janelle said was it's the magic is just showing up every single day and posting and not be afraid to show your journey. There's so many but what ifs and fear, like Lori just said. It's, you know, I'm not saying that you're not going to have fear. We all do. It's a legitimate feeling. It's an Inside Out in the Disney movie. It's totally a legitimate feeling, but it's how we handle that so that we can get further. Imagine if Ashley, Lori, myself, and Letty let fear get in our way. We would not be sitting here today on this call. We would not be sitting here with the elite teams that we have. We get scared all the time. You don't hear our offline conversations as much, but we are no more special than you. We do the same thing you do. So you just got to make sure that you make the decision, you decide, commit, and you will succeed if you continue without being Beachbody cliche, but it's true. That's just what you got to do, guys. So make the commitment. Today is July 19th. Is that what today is? Whatever the date is. July 19th. Write it down. From this point moving forward, these are my top 5 things I'm going to do every single day. Okay? Make your little checklist and make sure you're able to check them off every day. For me, those 5 are, and you should all be the same. We wake up and do our workout. We drink our Shakeology. We read or listen to our PD. Even if it's 5 minutes, whatever. I like to aim for a chapter a day. Again, because you guys know me, I like to, everything has to be calculated. A chapter a day works for me, or if it's 10 minutes a day for you. Some of you drive. I know, like Janelle listens to podcasts during her commute to work. Number 4 is we talk about what we're doing. If we don't talk about what we're doing, then no one's going to know, right? Like Janelle said, she was doing Beachbody for 7 years and didn't even know that there was a coaching opportunity. And then 5 is the hardest one. But the best one is to invite others to do 1, 2, 3, 4 with us. That's all it is. And it has nothing to do with being salesy or it's none of that. It's about sharing your story. And if you are truly being a product of the product and truly doing 1, 2, 3, 4, then number 5, which is inviting, should be super easy. It's like, because you believe in it, it's like sharing your favorite book, your favorite movie. When you're passionate about something, it will come out in a natural way, and you should never feel like you're trying to sell something to anyone. If you feel that way, then you got to take a step back and go back and look at your first few steps. That's it.
Carolina, if you want to unmute yourself, you can speak on here.
Okay, I'm muted. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I'm Carolina. I'm under Leticia's team. My sister is my coach. This is my second summit. I went last year and I came back and I was just raving about how just life-changing it was whenever Janelle was talking and saying that the electricity or the vibe that you get when you're around people, especially in a group that big, you really can't get that through online. You can watch the live streaming, but whenever you're there, like, it almost makes me, I'm just an emotional person, it almost makes me want to cry just even talking about it. It lights a fire inside of you. And being my second summit, I went back and I was at first like really sad because I hadn't made any movement in my business. And I went there watching the people walking across the stage thinking, I'm not up there, and I wanted to be. I had set these big scary goals, and my second summit, and I'm still not up there. What's wrong? And instead of trying to find blame, I really was like, okay, well, what have I been doing wrong? And I know at first, when you first go like my first summit, I was watching all these shiny things going on. I was like, wow, that's so amazing. I want to be up there so bad. But we have to really remember it's not really about that. You have to focus on genuinely wanting to help people, because if you go in there just thinking, oh, I want to be a 2-star, I want to be a 5-star, I want to be walking that stage, and you aren't genuinely wanting to help people, they're going to be able to get that from whenever you're trying to connect with them. Because yeah, you'll be like, oh, okay, I'm trying to get to know you, but you have that, like, I guess, what is it? Yeah, you have this like icky vibe, because your true intentions are, oh, I really just want to be diamond, or oh, I really just want to be walking across that stage. And I had to really gut check myself this past summit when I was there. Like, that's why I wanted to do this, because whenever I first went to summit, it changed my life, and it had nothing to do with money. It had everything to do with me as a person. It had everything to do with who I was becoming and how I wanted to change that. And this company is so amazing that they literally pay you to work on being a better person, on focusing on yourself, not just your health, because yeah, you can have 6-pack abs, but that doesn't mean you're going to be happy. They want you to do personal development so that you can grow as a person and become a better person. And that's why I love this company so much. And that's why whenever you go to Summit, it's not just parties and going to this amazing new location that you've never been to. Like, that's cool. But the amazing thing is going and connecting with people who have the same goals with you, and who, being a part of a company that really wants to make a difference in the world, and it has nothing to do with money, that's just a bonus. So if you're watching and you were watching all the snaps or whatever, you're following like, oh, I want to be there because that looks so cool. That's fun. It really was. I'm not going to put that down. But that's not the main goal of being there. The main goal was to grow as a person. The main goal was to come back with more ways to help people. I have a son, and whenever they introduced Daily Sunshine, I was like, oh my God, that just made me want to cry some more, because I was like, well, damn, like, I have a son who he hates eating vegetables. Like, it doesn't matter how I make it, he just hates it. And I'm this mom who's like, no, you're going to at least try it. Like, I don't care. But with this in mind, they don't realize whenever you work for a different company, like, I don't want to name any companies, but they are like, okay, well, you just do this wrap and you're fine. You can't wrap your kid. You can't wrap them and then them like, oh, okay, this is how I'm going to be healthy. And then they'll grow up with that mentality thinking like, oh, I'm just supposed to be skinny. That's not what I'm doing. And that's not what this is doing for me and my son. This is showing him that, hey, when mommy works out, she feels stronger. When mommy works out, she's pushing herself, but she's making a difference. And when mommy's eating healthy, it's not just, I'm taking 2 little fat burning pills and then I can eat whatever I want. Like, no, it's this company, it transformed you from the inside out if you let it. And if you focus on doing that, and yes, you want to hit Success Club. Yes, you want to make a difference with your income, but you have to first focus on being a better person and then genuinely wanting to help people, not just make money. And I just really wanted to share that. That was my takeaway from Summit, was that we just really want to help people whenever other companies, they just want to party and make money. And this is so much more than that. And you were blessed with this opportunity. God put this in I truly believe that it's placed in you because you have the ability to help people that I wouldn't be able to help, that Ashley wouldn't be able to help, Letty or Tanya, like, you have that. So don't waste it.
I love this. It's so true. And I think, I mean, for me, it is also about the parties, but it's like, it is so about the community and the fact that we are all, like, our job is to become our best selves, right? And then share that with other people. So I've seen a couple people posting in here, like, I am afraid that by sharing this passion that I'm coming across salesy, did anybody here feel like they were being sold to with this? No, that was straight heart and passion. So if you guys can tap into that, like, how has Beachbody changed your life, and share that with people, because, and I had a talk with a coach today that it's no longer going to be about Success Club or hitting diamond, or the goal is now going to be to control the controllables. So show up and do those vital behaviors, because those are going to be the things that are going to get you to Success Club and going to get you to diamond. And it's almost, I made the comparison to weight loss. So, you know, the people that are so focused on the scale never moves. but the people then that just focus on the right activities of eating well and moving their body, the weight just takes care of itself. It's the same with this business. If you guys focus so hard on the outcome, then you forget the input part and everything's, screwed up. So focus on controlling what you can and take that passion, Carolina, that you have and share that with people. And what I would say, two things is there is, you guys can buy tickets right now to Indianapolis next year. I would force yourself to do that. I would force yourself to put that goal out there to say, I am going to be here a year from now. And we've heard this before, like be here a year from now, but you can't just be here a year from now. You have to be here a year from now and put the work in to back it up. And Carolina, we will all be shouting for you when you walk across that stage next year. But also I would say, 145 through July 21st or July 23rd, like Tanya put in there. So buy that ticket, then decide, like Tanya said, what 5 things are you going to do every day to show up? And don't say, by next summit, I want to be a diamond. I think if you give yourself a year, it's too long of a window. So say, where am I going to be in the next quarter? In the next 3 months, where do I want to be, right? And then where do I want to be 3 months from that? But not a year from now, because then you don't have any fire under your butt. But lead with passion. Even if you weren't at Summit, tap into why did you want to become a coach to begin with? How has this company changed your life? Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's the community. Maybe it's confidence. Who knows what it is? But take that, and I think it's so ridiculous that we're like, we don't want to be salespeople. You're not selling anything. I don't feel like I ever sell anything. Carolina clearly isn't selling anything. It is literally like, this company has changed my life, and I want to share it with other people. And I think if we go into this with that same perspective of sharing with passion, no one, if they think that you're selling, then that's really on them, because you're not selling, right? You're just sharing. So those are the things that I want to say. Buy your ticket, make it so that you're going to be here a year from now, that you've made that commitment, and then set up, Jennifer Badger, the 12-week year, or where are you going to be in 3 months from now, so that you have those goals that you can attain, and pick those 5 things that you're going to do every day that are going to get you to those goals. So thank you for sharing, Carolina. And I'm glad you had such a great summit experience, because it really is a magical, it's a magical experience, really. And every year I go, this is my 5th summit, I think, and they're so good. So, anything else, you guys? Yeah, it's a new life. Okay, then we will let you guys go. Thanks for hopping on with us. Hopefully you have a game plan on how to tackle the Team Cup, and then take some time after this call. Take the next 9 minutes and sit down and say, where do I want to be in 3 months? Also buy your ticket to Summit next year, and that's your homework from leaving this call. And we can't wait to have so many of you guys at Summit next year as rock stars. Yeah, I love it. Okay, so have a good night, and we'll talk to you guys soon.